It's a lead generation thing.
Are we bringing more people to the party?
He's right here in the office with me. He'll probably just listen.
Okay, cool. Is that your business partner?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, we're here.
Okay, awesome. What's his name?
Aaron.
Hello.
Aaron. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
All right, Aaron and Diane. So what I want to do first is, before we actually break down how we're going to do this, I want to hear from you guys what you're hoping we can do from you, because I heard you use the term lead generation. So what does that mean to you exactly?
Well, that's what Christine had used as a term, was lead generation for foundations.
Yes, and that's what we do in a nutshell. I mean, overview, 1,000-foot overview, right?
Right.
So let me ask you, in terms of lead generation for you guys, because there's a million companies, like if you guys are in the foundation business, you understand like Home Advisor is like the go-to for you guys, right?
Right.
So let me ask you, what are you hoping to gain from working with a company that could do something different?
I'm looking for leads like Home Advisor without having to pay thousands of dollars a month for those leads to go nowhere.
Right. What don't you like? So here's the thing. We've worked with a lot of contractors in the past, right? And we're obviously very familiar with Home Advisor. So what don't you like about the Home Advisor leads? Sorry, there's a little bit of a laugh in there because I feel like I already know the answer, but I would love to hear from you.
Pretty much the cost is the biggest drawback with the Home Advisor leads, because as soon as that person selects you, they charge you even before you've made contact with the customer for the first time.
So it doesn't matter if I sell that job.
It doesn't even matter if we get a look at that job, because a lot of times when you call back, you don't get a response from the customer.
Right. And do you know why that is?
No idea.
Okay. So here's how that process works. And this is a great segue to explain how we're different before we actually dive into the analysis of your company. Okay.
Okay.
So the reason that happens is because they're what's referred to as an aggregator. Okay. So an aggregator is going to generate leads for the company, not necessarily your company, but in general. They're going to generate contracting leads, and they're going to sell those leads to a plethora of contractors.
Right.
So the reason why some of those calls are not getting answered, they don't call back, is because you're not a direct point of contact. You're more just like everybody else. You're just a number.
Right.
So I'm assuming, so I heard earlier, so before I get into how we do that differently and the analysis that I found on your company, because I did some homework for you, and how we can help you right away and see a little bit faster results. When you said earlier that you didn't want to have to pay thousands of dollars to be able to get those leads, were you referring to that you don't want to spend thousands of dollars a month, or if you spend thousands of dollars a month, you want to see more come out of that?
Yes.
If we spend thousands of dollars a month, we want to see more come out of that.
Okay, that's typically the answer that we expect. Yeah, I agree.
Right.
Okay, yeah, I completely agree with you. Yeah, it's not about scaling down spend. It's about maximizing the spend and being able to like squeeze the orange for all the juice.
Right.
Correct.
Cool. So now that I understand that, let me break down how we're different from what we just explained the aggregators to be. So we're different because the way we run ads is going to create a direct point of contact. So the leads that you are generating, they're going to be in whatever area that you prefer, because I mean, you know this already as well as I do. This isn't new information, but different. The homes that have been around longer are going to require you guys to work on them more, especially like pillars, foundation, cracks, things of that nature.
Right.
And obviously the higher value homes have more of a nest egg to be able to front that kind of money faster.
Right.
So we understand that. So that's why you can let us know like what areas are best for you guys, so we can hone in on those markets specifically. And we'll be able to spend the budget appropriate to whatever the population and reach is for that specific criteria. But what makes us different is because we're going to be able to deliver a direct point of contact to you rather than us collecting a lead and selling it to a dozen different contractors. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so basically what this allows us to do is to be able to create that conversation, and then from there, the ball's basically in your court, right?
Right.
But that's what we want to do. So that's what's made the the ratio higher from people being able to close leads rather than working with an aggregator. And just, aggregators, they're not a horrible thing, right? We work with companies that work with aggregators. Shoot, even when we worked with recruiting companies, which are a totally different type of business, right?
Right.
They still work with companies like Monster and Indeed and Career Builder. It's not that they don't like to work with those. They like to be able to diversify their spend.
Right.
So it's not the end of the world. So now that we understand what the aggregator is and how we do it differently, is that the kind of approach that you're looking to take?
I would say so. I definitely like the idea of, because we have no problem with, once we get that phone call or get in front of that customer, closing jobs. It's certainly not the issue, but it is, in fact, getting those phone calls or getting them to pick up the phone or we call them. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much what we're looking for, essentially.
Yeah, and more importantly, we want them to actually be in the market, not just
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Yeah, so that's
Which is the upside of Home Advisor, is they're looking for your services.
That is correct. So can I explain to you the difference as well in the terms of like running a specific type of ad for that?
Sure.
So the way that works, and a lot of the time, is typically, and this is why running ads is a combined art and a science, which is why we don't expect you guys to have to learn all this stuff and wear a million hats. But in the terms of running ads, you need to be able to have your ad copy for that ad to be able to only gravitate people that are currently in the market. So if your ad says something along the lines of, do you think that your home might need repair? Call us today for a consultation. Like that kind of thing is going to generate some really horrible leads.
Right.
But if we have something along the lines of, have you had your home for 10 years, and did you know that 90% of homes that have been built after 10 years have cracks in the foundation that are actually leaking air and costing you thousands of dollars? Do you have a home that's 10 years old? We'll come out there and inspect it for you in hopes to save you thousands of dollars a year.
Right.
That's only going to gravitate people that have had a home for 10 years.
Right.
So that would be in your market. And obviously once you guys get in there, do your thing, then it's great. So that's the difference between Home Advisor or any aggregator, because they have more of a general approach and they're bringing leads in, people looking for a foundation contractor. But to be honest, you guys do so many things under the umbrella of foundation.
Right.
It's like, that's still a very general lead.
Right.
Cool. Does that make sense then?
Yes.
Nice. So can I break down the analysis that I found in your company? Would that be okay?
Sure.
Okay, great. But so far, does this all sound like a good fit for you? Are we on the same page?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So let's keep going then. So have you guys ever done any type of ads outside of an aggregator?
You cut out there kind of towards the middle.
We do face-to-face marketing with realtors because that is our primary market.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Do you guys work with the offices?
Work with who?
Do you guys work with the actual offices?
Yes.
Nice. Yeah, that is great. Yeah, that's typically what we hear. That's awesome. Okay. Have you guys done any other ads outside of that direct form of marketing where you're just working with the offices?
We did some. Simple Facebook ads, some boost posts, things like that.
Okay, so you guys do boost your posts?
Uh-huh.
Okay, cool. How does that work for you?
I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
I mean, it's still your friends, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I'm not going to get into I'm going to get lost in the weeds of how Facebook ads work. But
right.
It's different, right? Okay, so here's the first thing I noticed, okay, is that your website is not optimized for performance. Now, we're not here to talk about building websites. That's not what we do. We can, but that's not our primary focus right now. We don't need to worry about that.
Okay.
But I just wanted to, that's part of the analysis. I just wanted to kind of share that with you.
Okay.
The second thing is that we noticed you did not have a Facebook pixel or a Google tag manager on your website.
Okay.
Are you familiar with what those are?
I am.
Okay. Are you familiar with what they do?
They takes you to your Facebook page.
So it actually does something a little bit different. Close though. Can I share it with you? Is that all right?
Sure.
I'm not trying to nerd out on you guys. I just think it's a little bit important for you at least to know the surface level information before you buy anything. Do you agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So what those are going to do is be able to track the people that go to your website. So this way we could send them different types of ads dependent on their level of interest where they went on your website.
Okay.
So similar to somebody walked into the gas station, and I apologize, my analogies are kind of silly, but they make sense to me. So, and I grew up in Missouri, so I'm kind of a simple person. But anyway, so the way that works is if somebody were to go into a gas station and they were to walk down the aisle with chips, we're not going to show them ads after they leave the gas station for chips.
Right.
Okay, what we're going to do is show them ads for the type of chips that they picked up and put back down. So if somebody went into that gas station, picked aisle 3 out of the 10 aisles, picked up a bag of barbecue Lays, set them down and left and did not purchase them, we are only going to show them ads similar to like if they saw billboards for only barbecue Lays everywhere they went, whether that be the bathroom stall, the highway, their grandma's backyard, it doesn't matter.
I'm over my smart.
Okay. So how's
Okay.
that for you? Is that good?
Yeah, I just said I'm over my smartphone.
Oh yeah. Well, your smartphone's not over you, so.
Right.
So here's the thing with that. That's how these pixels work and this Google Tag Manager works. Okay. The way they work is if somebody goes to your website and they went to services you offer and they saw that you guys could work on just pillars, then we're going to show them ads specifically for that.
Okay.
Okay. Can you see how this would be way more effective?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. So in the terms of lead generation, we don't necessarily want to send them to your website. We want to send them. There's a couple ways we do that, but we don't necessarily have to send them to your website. And to be honest, because this is just me doing the analysis, we wouldn't want to. Your website's just not optimized right now and geared to be able to convert that.
Yeah, we don't really want them sent to our website. We want them to call us.
Okay, cool. Perfect. I just want to make sure we're on the same page with that. I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, so what kind of questions do you have for me so far?
So where are you posting, where would you post ads for us? I mean, like, where would we show up to show that, like, you're getting the numbers that we're looking for?
Super great question. Right before I answer that, what kind of numbers do you guys have an expectation?
I don't know.
Not in particular. I mean, obviously we're not social marketing geniuses. So, I mean, I don't know what the conversion rate is on how many thousands of people need to see my ad for
One calls or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's actually social media expert. No, I'm kidding. But all jokes aside, let me give a little bit more specific example.
Gotcha.
Let's say you guys were to spend, I don't know, let's say you were to spend $3,000 a month with us, right?
Okay.
If you were to do that, what kind of expectations? Let's do what kind of lead expectation would you have? And then what kind of dollar expectation would you have?
So, I mean, I would think lead wise, we should be up around 200. And yeah, and we should be able to close half of that.
Wow, that would be a lot. What kind of service would that be?
I mean, we give excellent service.
Oh, no, I don't mean the quality. I just mean like what kind of, oh, that's good. That's good.
What do you mean? What kind of
I know
service would that be?
Well, I know you guys can do a lot of different things. Some of the contractors that we worked with in the past, they would go out and they would just charge to go out for the consultation.
We don't do that.
We don't charge for the consultation.
Okay, cool. So if you were to close 50% of those leads, which is I'm just to let you know, is like an extremely high number. What type of service would you expect to be selling? Like, what would the, let me make,
we're only considering foundation.
okay. So Well, I mean, yeah. What would your average sale be with those?
Mm,
I know that you guys can do a lot under the umbrella of foundational services.
all right.
About 3,500 bucks.
Yeah, I would say somewhere between 3,000 and 3,500.
Okay, so let's just say 3,000 on the low.
Sure.
Okay. Here's the thing, guys. Like, I love to shoot for the stars. Don't get me wrong. We do the same thing, right? When we run ads for our business and whatnot. But I'm
Right.
going to want to play the devil's advocate here.
Okay.
And nothing against you guys, but what we've noticed is I've been doing this for 4 years now. And what I've noticed is that, you know, we can all tend to feel like we close a little bit higher because a lot of the stuff coming in might be from referrals and stuff.
Right.
So it's just going to be a little bit of a different conversion rate from the cold traffic.
Okay.
So I just like to play the devil's advocate and look at the lowest possible return, and then anything on that's icing on the cake.
Okay.
So if we're looking at like $3,000 per close at 200 leads, I mean, realistically, let me ask you this: if you're spending $3,000 a month with us, because I don't see delivering 200 leads as, I mean, that's gonna be a lot easier than you think to do, even with a direct point of contact. But that being said, what would you need your return on your spend to be to justify spending $3,000 a month with us? Because based on your scenario, if you did that, we would be making you $300,000 a year, and we would immediately turn your business into like a $4.2 million business overnight.
You mean a month? Well, I mean, the thing is like, even where we're at a $2 million a year business.
Awesome. Okay.
And that's with no advertising and just face-to-face with realtors. So, I mean, that would kind of be the expectation. You asked what the expectation was. $3,000 a month is my entire budget. So, I mean,
Especially for something like this.
yeah. So, I mean, you know, it would be the only source of leads at that point.
Yeah, no, that'd be killer, right?
Right.
How far out can you guys service?
We go all the way to Rockwell, Terrell, Frisco, Denton, Weatherford, south to Ennis and Waxahachie, Hillsboro. So it's like a 75-mile radius.
Nice. Awesome. Okay. Okay, that's good. All right.
And I mean, like, just to be real honest, like, I mean, we would be looking at maybe $750 the first month to see what happens with that.
Right.
Yeah, and I want to meet you halfway on that, right? Because we haven't gone into rates or anything like that, but our costs are higher than that.
Okay.
Just because we've already had success working with so many different types of businesses, this isn't a guessing game for us.
Okay.
And the reason why aggregators are willing to negotiate down with you and basically be the Walmart of leads is because they already have so many coming in that if you pay them $750, well, they also have 10 other people paying them $750 for the same leads. So they're actually making $7,500 per, right? You see what I'm saying? So you're actually, we're making more per client than we would, but we're working direct.
Okay.
Anyway, just
So
to break that down.
I guess what types of advertising are you going to use? Like in our market, do you work with other foundation companies and know what's been successful?
Yeah.
What types of advertising are you going to use to generate those leads?
Great question. Yeah, so we would not work with contractors, but also with all different types of businesses, from recruiting to roofing to, I mean, really pooper scoopers, like you name it. We've done something with every type of business.
Okay.
But in terms of advertising, we start out, the first month is going to be a little bit more of like seeing which platform is going to work best for you. So we'll start out with Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
Now, that being said, we can do things like SEO and Google AdWords and Bing AdWords, but we're going to start with what we already know we can generate a large amount of leads, and we'll start with Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
We're also going to put you on something called an audience network. So I don't know if you're familiar with like those pop-up ads on like websites.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool. We're on apps and things like that. If you see, like, if you're on an app and you see an ad.
Right.
Yeah. So most other companies will charge you extra to do that. We include that.
Okay.
Okay. And the reason we do that is because we don't know yet what exactly is going to be the best platform for you, but we know that we can generate results starting this way, and then we start to narrow down.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. It sounds to me like we've been on the same page the whole time, but which is good.
Yes.
You guys don't hate me yet, so that's good.
No, you're good.
Did you say you're good?
Yeah, you're good.
It's my first day. So. No, I'm kidding. I already said I've been doing it for 4 years. I gave it away. So anyway, so what we'd be looking at doing is starting you guys on Facebook and Instagram. I will let you know that our minimum package is $3,000 a month. So that's kind of why I referenced that number. In the terms of seeing a return on your ad spend or your return on your spend with us, we like to at least show a 5X return is always our gauge for success, like at a bare minimum. We understand you're working with margins, right?
I do, but that's only closing 5 deals.
Right, exactly. So what we want to do until we can that we're making you more money, because the first month is split testing, right? I don't know if you're familiar with that term or not. Maybe I just geeked out again, but
I didn't hear what you said.
okay. So the first month or so, we're going to be testing out a few different types of strategies.
Okay.
So we like to make sure that we're more realistic. We're not shooting for the moon and the stars. Here's the other thing, guys. This what makes us different is that I'm not going to sugarcoat it with you. Okay, so there's 2 types of people that will sell social media marketing or digital marketing in general, and you're going to get the yes men that are to come in and tell you yes to everything that you say.
Right.
And that's usually who people buy from. But we've been doing this long enough to know that we want to set the right expectations. And
right. I mean, the problem being, like, there's no way I can bet my whole budget on something that I know nothing, no results from.
yeah, I totally understand. But that being said, I mean, which type of person would you prefer to work with? Because if you decide not to work with us, what's going to happen is you're going to end up working with somebody else, right?
Probably not. I mean, for $3,000 a month, I can hire another face-to-face marketer.
That's true. But what we want to do is create a more predictable, automated source of leads. So it's a little bit different.
Right. Yeah, it's just kind of out of my budget, though. I mean, there's just no way I can justify that.
I totally understand. Hey, on the bright side, it's only a 12-month agreement.
Right.
No, I'm kidding. We're not a cell phone company. Come on here, Diane. What do you think we are, a Sprint?
Right.
Look, here's the thing. We want to work with you guys. This will be a super easy campaign for us. And I would like to be able to show you this is going to work. Right?
Right.
So let me ask you this. If we were to meet you in the middle, I understand this is a little bit more than you expected to spend, obviously, from what I'm gathering. But that being said, if we did a shorter term to where we didn't really have that kind of agreement, what would be the likelihood that you'd be willing to try us out?
Well, it's a lot better than if you're charging us $3,000 a month. I'm interested. I really am. But again, if we have $3,000 to spend a month, I mean, if you are thinking about halfway $1,500, that's something that we can do. But I mean, I know that you're talking about needing time to kind of generate, seeing what's going to work best for us. So, if you're going to say it's $1,500 for the first month and then it's $3,000 for, our next 2 months, but we haven't seen a return on that, then it still doesn't make sense for us to do it.
Yeah, totally agree. Here's the thing with that is just like you guys, you have a team and whatnot.
Right.
So we have a team as well. And there's a lot of people out there that are going to be one-man shows to be able to literally do everything. And can I walk you through these 2 scenarios? Is that okay? Do you guys have time?
Sure.
Okay, cool. So scenario number 1 is you can work with somebody that's going to be a solopreneur that's basically brand new in business and says they can run Facebook ads. Okay, or whatever. They run Google ads or whatever. But they're a one-man show. So they're coming in, they're working with you, and the service is great. Okay, or it's going to completely flop. It's a 50-50 chance. But what ends up happening if it's great is that they obviously want to continue to scale their business as well. And then you have to deal with the struggle of them having to go through the growing pains of hiring people, which if you guys are already past the 7-figure marker as a company, you understand what that looks like.
Right.
So we've already been there and done that. And we have a team already built out. That's why we're able to offer so many services, which we didn't discuss today because, to be honest, I don't want to overwhelm you, and we don't need those to be successful off the bat. We'll use those to scale up. But that being said, that's scenario number one, where you kind of take the gamble. Either they're going to be good maybe, or they're going to be good definitely, and then they're going to have to start to scale, and then they're going to like give us less attention.
Right.
But we're option two, okay? So option two is where we already have a team built out, and we understand what it's going to look like in order to help you guys scale and to give you the level of attention that you're going to need in order to continue to be progressive with your campaign.
Right.
So just based on knowing those, and you're also going to get access to a dashboard. You can see your results real time, things of that nature. So this way you can have questions answered, and you can talk to us throughout that dashboard. Okay, so you're going to have that type of access. So that being said, guys, knowing that, which type of company would you prefer to work with, a solopreneur or a company like us?
No, we would like to work with you. I mean, just going into it, like I said, it's just more money than we expected.
Okay.
Not enough options for our budget.
Okay. Yeah, no, I feel you. I hear you. And trust me, based on your reaction, I kind of figured as much, but I also have to make sure that we can keep the lights on too.
Right.
I mean, it sounds to me like we definitely both want to do this. It's just a matter of like, how can we meet in the middle to make this work without both of us going broke?
Right.
Okay, cool. That's what I'm kind of gathering. Let's see. I mean, realistically, what did you guys have in mind to get started with prior to this call? Did you guys have like a budget allocated towards doing something different? Is that why you had that in mind?
I think more than anything, we're trying to figure out our options about what else we can do differently. So, you know, I don't know that I necessarily had any kind of expectation, but that is kind of a larger chunk. I mean, that is our marketing budget per month right now. So I think it's more about seeing what what's available and what that can mean for us. I mean, I'm not the type of person that would jump on a call like this and be like, all right, let's do it. Let's hurry up and sign up as fast as we can. Anyways, we have another partner that we have to talk with.
Right.
I have other marketing people that I have to talk with and kind of figure out where we go from there. So again, it's research more than anything.
Yeah, no, I hear you. So can I give you an example of what it's been like over the last 4 years working with different companies and running ads ourselves?
Sure.
That'd be all right. So here's what we noticed is a lot of companies that we work with, and I've worked with companies that were both getting started and starting out, like e-commerce stores that had just built their store, like online stores, as well as working with companies like Yellow Freight or YRC Freight. I'm familiar with them.
I do.
So I've worked with every size company, and what we've noticed, here's been the big differentiator between the companies that scale really quickly and the ones that are just trying to kind of dip their toe in it, is that companies like Yellow Freight, right? They're a big company, obviously, a Fortune 500, and they had a certain amount of money allocated, which is great. It's great that they have that because for write-offs, they understand like based on what they project to make for the year, they know what type to write off, how much they could spend per quarter, etc.
Right.
But that being said, when something's working, right, and this is what's been the big differentiator for the e-commerce stores that we've also partnered with, as well as service-based local businesses, is that when something's working well, that budget doesn't exist. It just continues to scale.
Right.
Right. So are you guys in a position where you only have X amount of dollars you'd rather work with? Or if you start seeing results, are you going to plan on scaling that budget?
Oh, no. If we see results, then we would scale the budget accordingly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's typically what, most of the companies that scale pretty quickly do. That makes a lot of sense. I agree. Well, we'd love to work with you guys. We already know that this kind of stuff works. So the question is, what would work for you guys dollar amount wise? Because we have a minimum, but we know this can work for you and you guys could try us out. How does that sound?
Well, it sounds great. I mean, again, we still have a third person involved. But like I said,
get them on the phone. Let's do it.
like I said originally, I mean, I was looking at like maybe $750 to start. I mean, that's just kind of where we're at with it.
Okay. Okay.
And based on results, I mean, we move from there, you know?
Yeah. Okay, I hear you. Man, you guys are hard closers, huh? I wonder what it'd be like dealing with you guys in a house. I'm over here just
Laid back.
feel like I'm getting
We are really pretty laid back. But I mean, there's no sense wasting your time or our time if we know what we're willing to do and that's not within what you can do, you know?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. We do have, I mean, we wouldn't be able to do 750 because that wouldn't even really cover our costs and pay our team and everything else. But we can start at a lower amount. If you guys were willing to get started this week, I know you have to talk to one other person. What I'd like to do, I don't know if this is realistic for you, before we go about what we can do, because I'm gonna have to talk to the team because odds are we're probably not gonna really have any margins if we did a trial with you guys, but I already know this will work. So what I'd like to do is get the third person on the call with us, and we'll break down more of like what you guys are gonna have access to in the dashboard, things of that nature. And then if it seems like a good fit and everybody's on the same page, then we could do a trial of like 3 months.
Here's the deal. Here's the honest deal. I could care less about the dashboard. If my phones don't ring, then it's not benefiting me.
Okay, I agree with you.
And I don't need one more piece of social media profile or anything else that I have to update on a regular basis.
Well,
I've got so much shit. I just take care of the red right now.
okay, well, no dashboard for Diane. Got it. Here's the thing, guys. I already know it's going to work. I want to work with you, but I have minimums. And at the end of the day, here's the thing. Do you guys trust me? I know it's the first time we've hopped on a call, but if you don't trust me, then you would never be able to move forward regardless, right?
Right.
We just have minimums. We have to keep the lights on and pay our team. Like, that's just it. But
I understand.
if you guys can meet us in the middle and just try us out, like, I have to talk with the team to see what our minimum is going to be. But it's definitely going to be more than 750. That much is a guarantee. Like, do you guys trust me enough to just try us out if we can somehow meet you in the middle?
I mean, I do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely willing to give it a shot.
Okay, cool. Here's what I like to do. I like to set up a follow-up call because I do have to talk to them because, you know, I don't own the company, right?
Right.
So
Fantastic.
I know. See, you could negotiate whatever you wanted if you owned the company.
I could, yeah. Shoot, I would go in the red for you guys.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, yeah. So can we go ahead and do this? What times do you guys have available later this week with the third person that you would have to get on call? Who is that, by the way? Is that like a neighbor, financial advisor?
No, it's of another partner.
Okay, cool.
The other co-owner.
Okay, great. What time do you guys have available later this week? So I would need probably like a day or two. So we have to do either more than likely on Monday.
Monday we're out all day for an event,
For a face-to-face marketing event.
for a face-to-face marketing event.
Oh, okay. No problem.
Yeah, Tuesday works.
Tuesday would work?
That's all right. Tuesday about
We're open Tuesday.
how about 1 o'clock?
What are you guys? What's your time zone again?
Central.
Okay, cool. That's what I thought. Yes, that would work. We could do 1 o'clock. Yeah, let's go ahead and shoot for 1 o'clock on Tuesday. And you know for sure. What's your other co-owner's name?
Ricky.
Ricky. Okay, cool. Yeah, if you know Ricky can be there for sure at 1 o'clock, then let's go ahead and shoot for 1 o'clock on Tuesday. And let me talk with the team to see what we're able to do for you. Because remember, I'm just a hard closing salesman that needs to make the sales. Right? So,
I hear you.
I don't feel like I close as hard as you guys, so you can teach me anything.
Well, you can come with us on a couple of inspections and check it out.
Oh, you guys couldn't stand me for that long, let's be honest. So let's go ahead and shoot for next Tuesday at 1 p.m. and see what we can do. All right.
Okay, perfect.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks
All
for
right, thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hello?
Hello.
Just waiting for them to hop on, guys. Ask any questions if you have them. Temple can ask them to me. We can answer them. But follow-up calls are different. So just to let you know, the way this typically goes is after we build a rapport, he's going to try to find a lot of ways to find holes in our process. And then instead of getting lost in the weeds with the actual design of how we do something, we want to keep it very surface level. So this way we can't dig ourselves a hole.
Alex thinks this is fake live.
Alex said fake live?
No, you just said, is this actually live now?
Yeah. Yeah, this is live. If you see any live video that has the live icon and the icon in the top left, that means it's an actual live video. And for people that don't think it's live, literally we're on the Zoom.
Hello.
Hey, yeah, we're on. I'm here.
Here's the, Hi, how are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I've got Ricky here, but I don't have Aaron.
Okay, so we have Ricky,
Uh-huh.
but we don't have, who are we missing?
Aaron, the one that was here
Yeah.
last week.
Okay, cool. Well, just to double check, you said he was already ready to go, right?
Aaron?
Yeah, he was already interested in moving forward, if I remember.
The biggest concern was cost.
Oh, yeah. No, that won't be a problem. In the sense of this, though, do we need everybody in the room in case this is something that Ricky also feels that we should move forward with?
No, probably not. But I mean, we wouldn't make a decision without the three of us actually talking about it without you being on the line.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And I can mute it or like leave the room or something.
Right.
I'm kidding. I get you. I'm with you guys. Ricky,
I'm not very snappy this morning.
no, that's okay. And I know Ricky wasn't our last call, but I'm full of horrible humor, so hopefully you can bear with us here.
No problems.
Okay, cool, great. Well, we'll dive right into it if that works for you guys.
Yeah.
Cool. So Ricky, before we kind of dive into all the details from our end, I know that from what I understand, you kind of handle more of this side of things with the marketing.
No, I do. Diane does.
I'm sorry, what's that?
No, I handle the marketing. They just don't make any major decisions on marketing and advertising without them.
Oh, cool, awesome, great. Well, in that case, Ricky, do you have any specific questions that you had interest in or that you knew would be like something that we would have to cover prior to moving forward with anything?
I mean, if Diane is okay with kind of everything that's going on, I do trust her opinion. So I mean, she'll be the one handling everything and the one dealing with it. So, if she feels comfortable with making, if she feels comfortable with this happening and thinks that it's for the best and goes in the right direction, then I'll get involved.
Cool. Well, simple enough. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Ricky, because Diane was pretty hard on me in our first call.
Good luck, man.
Well, let's just get into the details then. So I'm just going to cover everything as an overview, everything in a nutshell. So this way you guys can both, have clear recollection of what we last spoke about. And any questions that you have, obviously feel free to lay them on me throughout this part of the conversation.
Okay.
Cool. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be running Google ads, okay? And what I'm going to tell you right now is the overview to the diagnosis that we're going to use because it's the most effective. All right, so I don't want you guys to get too lost in how we do it, but I just want to let you know what platforms we're using.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to use Google, Facebook, and Instagram. The reason why is because we're able to get a more direct, more qualified call on Google, and then we can better convert them using Facebook and Instagram as additional platforms that they might hang out on.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So what we've come, and Ricky, I know that we just met here, but I've been doing this for 4 years. And what we've come to learn over the last 4 years is that your best customer isn't always on one platform. So what we want to do is put you front and center of the right person on the platform they hang out on in the time that they need to see you, so this way you become an option. Now, we found a way to do that cheaper, so this way you guys can get a lower cost for acquisition by simply using Google as a direct platform, because the ads they look different, okay? They do different things. So it's cheaper to retarget them on these other social platforms. So this combination of using the platforms in this way has allowed us to be able to drive a lower cost for acquisition, and that's why we choose this route initially.
Okay.
Cool. Go ahead.
No, I'm listening.
Okay, cool. That's really the gist of the overview. Do you guys have any other questions for me so far?
Not yet.
Oh, not yet. I feel like you got some just kind of hanging out there in your back pocket, you're ready to throw out. You can ask me now if you want.
No, I'm good. I'm writing them down.
Okay, awesome. So that's gonna be the basic overview. Now, the way it'll look getting started is all you're gonna do is, because I know that Diane was telling me you guys aren't interested in doing like any type of long-term contract or anything of that nature. Is that right?
Right.
Cool. That's why we have this flexibility. I mean, we understand that obviously you're not gonna marry us until you date us first, right?
That's right.
Hey, you never know nowadays, man. It's 2019. People just go play some week practice because.
Hey, I mean, I don't know how you're feeling me right now, Ricky, but if you are, we can do a 24-month contract. I don't know what you're into. Let me tell you this, I won't say no, okay? But I understand where Diana was coming from, the team was coming from, so obviously we want to accommodate you to the best of our ability. So we do have different options and flexibility plans set up for that. Cool?
Okay.
So what will happen initially is you would just put down your down payment of the initial first month. The build out is going to take us roughly 1 to 2 weeks. Okay?
Okay.
So your first month, the first 1 or 2 weeks of that first month is going to be building your program out. So you're going to have ads running for 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. Okay? And then, you have any questions about that so far?
We went from 1 to 2 weeks to 2 to 3 weeks.
No, sorry, 1 to 2 weeks to build it, and then that means it'll be running in your first month for 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't try to trip me up, Diane. This is my first rodeo, girl. Come on.
Hey, we're making sure.
I get it. You're testing me. I like it. I gotta respect that. So anyway, next step is your next 2 months, because we were looking at our flexible terms, which is going to be 3 months minimum. Your next 2 month the program would be running. Now, last time we spoke, what did you say that your average sales cycle was for new customers calling in?
I mean, if they're pre-screened and already know they have an issue, which that should be what we're looking at, right? Or think they have an issue, or it's not like cold leads, you know what I'm saying? Then
Right.
we could probably close about anywhere from, I would say 80%. Yes. Has been where we sit at most of the time.
Well,
It's also a problem getting leads, getting solid leads
Is the
is
issue.
the issue. Yeah.
right.
Getting phones ringing and generating some movement, you know?
Yeah. So here's what I'll tell you with that before I circle back around to my initial question, is that the types of ads you generate are based on the type of offer that you're projecting.
Right.
And we already went over this, but Ricky just kind of recapped this portion of it for you. If you're running a general ad like a home advisor would, where it just says, do you feel like your home needs foundation work? Or do you have a home that's been there for, or whatever, are you seeping air through your windows? Something like that, that's more general.
Right.
It's not going to be nearly as great as if you have had a home for 10 years and you're noticing that you're starting to see cracks in the foundation. What could happen is XYZ, would you like to have us take a look for free?
Right.
That's going to drive in only people that have had a home for 10 years that are starting to notice cracks in the foundation.
Right.
So we do a lot of the work to make sure that the copy that we use is framed in a way that can generate a more quality prospect, a specific type of prospect.
Right.
So just to kind of make sure that, you know, we cover that and add some clarity to how we generate a little bit better client or prospect.
Okay.
But to circle back around, what is your sales cycle? So in the term, not your closing percentage, but in the time that you actually contact that, or that customer contacts you, how long does it take them to become a new customer on average?
24 to 48 hours.
Oh, wow. Every time?
Yes, we go do an inspection within 24 to 48 hours.
Okay. Nice. Wow, that's really good customer service.
Estimates are either usually given on site or by the end of the day.
Awesome. Okay. Great.
Most slab houses, we can give an estimate right then and there. Pier and beams is more of a time and material type deal, so we've got to figure out the labor and the material that's going to be the window repair that's needed. So that's why usually pier and beams are by the end of the day.
Okay. Okay, that's awesome. So what are you noticing is the biggest obstacle whenever those people don't turn into new customers?
Usually price.
Price?
Yeah, I mean usually because foundation is not an inexpensive repair.
Right.
It's usually like the funds available to do it, make the immediate repair. They all eventually turn into customers.
Okay, awesome. Because you guys continue to follow up with them?
Yes.
Awesome. That is great. And what did you say that your average customer worth was again?
About 3,500.
Per customer? Awesome. So, and if you don't mind me asking, I don't want to get too personal here, but what are your margins on those? Because we want to make sure that we're showing you guys a positive net ROI.
Probably about 53%.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That is super, 53%?
Yes.
Okay, wow, that's great. Okay, well, that's, I mean, showing an ROI must be incredibly realistic. I want to set the right expectations, though, if we decide to move forward. So what type of return on investment to your ad spend that you're paying us would you need to see in order to justify partnering with us? So let's just use a round number. Let's just say you were spending $5,000. What would you have to see in a return to justify spending that kind of money?
Well, they make me keep my budget at 5% of whatever sales are, so I would need a pretty good return at $5,000.
Okay. Would they be frustrated if you were making money, but it didn't hit that threshold of that expectation?
Probably not.
As long as we were making enough to justify what we were spending, I mean, we're not looking to hit a home run, obviously. We do want to generate consistent leads, consistent business. So I'm not looking to smash every deal that comes through with the highest price that we can. But we can't spend $5,000 and only make $6,000.
Yeah, and here's why I'm asking this, guys. I don't want you to sit here and think that, and start questioning, oh my gosh, are they going to be able to show us a return, or have any doubts? I'm asking because when we start a new campaign, especially with a business we haven't worked with yet, because we've never partnered with you guys, is that we're initially going to be testing out different things.
But you have 100% money back guaranteed, right?
Oh, yeah, no, I was hoping to pay you guys to work with us. Dang, Diane, this is what I'm talking about. Why are you such a hard closer? You're making me feel uncomfortable. So, on a real note, though, I really do just want to set the right expectation, because I'll even tell you this. Anytime that we've partnered up with companies to work with our company, right, we bring new team members on to work on running ads for our own company, because we run ads for us too. We'll spend a few $100s a day, and sometimes we won't see a return for weeks, just because we're tweaking so many different things, selling a higher ticket item. But then we end up seeing a much higher return when we find that winning recipe.
Right. The problem being, like I told you before, we've only been in business a short time, and so we're really limited on cash flow.
Absolutely. And I'm not here to judge your spend or anything of that nature. I'm just trying to give the example.
Yes.
So,
yeah, I know it's going to take a little bit. I get that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the only reason I want to set the expectation, because in our first 3 months, we decided to do this, let's go on a date first. I just want to make sure that you guys know we're going to be doing everything in our power to make sure you stay positive. Now,
Right.
hitting the home runs are going to be coming when we have that winning recipe, which we intend on having by that 3rd month or sooner. It's usually sooner, but we like to under promise, over deliver.
Yes.
So is that cool with you guys?
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, do you guys have any other questions prior to moving forward?
Nope. My only question still is if we can get to the same place on the price.
Right. And so we were trying to make that work on this. So we can do one of two things here. Obviously, we can go back and forth to be able to continue to position the value. And because it's obviously worth what we normally charge, which is why our customers all pay this or more. But Ricky, just so you know, we usually charge a minimum of $3,000 a month to start with us. And that's usually if people sign up on a 12-month agreement. Okay? So I did talk with a team. What's that?
No, I'm listening.
Okay, cool. So I did talk with a team, and we were going back and forth, and we're obviously more than flexible to work with you guys on a shorter term of 3 months to try us out first. So we can go back and forth the whole time on whether we should start with $3,000 or not and do the whole dog and pony show. Or we could just kind of take time and haggling out of the equation, and we could just get started with our break-even point of $2,000 for the first 3 months. If you guys were to get started today.
$2,000 a month for the first 3 months?
Correct. As long as you don't go around telling your friends you referred to us, we did that, and we'll call it even.
No, I get it. It's just there's no way I can make that happen.
Okay. And what part would be tough to move forward with on that?
Well, the part where I'm spending my whole advertising budget and putting all those eggs in one basket for something that's going to take a week or two to build out, 2 or 3 weeks, maybe this month to get advertised, and we don't even know if that's going to work because we don't really know the right combination yet. I mean, there's just too many variables of putting all my eggs in that basket.
Okay, I understand. What did you have in mind?
Like when we talked last week, I told you, like 750 is my max for the first month. And then, I mean, from there, I'm willing to negotiate, but I mean, I've got to be able to show them some kind of results. I mean, even if it's just the phone ringing, I don't care what it is. I have to be able to show them that we're getting something out of it.
Yeah. So here's what I can guarantee you is that your phone will ring. Okay? It's just a question of how many of those you close in the first month. Because if you have a 48-hour sales cycle, which I thought was going to be longer than that,
Right.
you should be at a 53% margin. The probability of your success is incredibly high. So I have no
Right.
problem with how many deals you're going to close. I just want to set the expectation based on the numbers you gave me, because that closing percentage seems really high for what would be cold traffic.
Right. Well, for cold traffic, it would be, yes.
Yeah, but even at 30%, you guys are sitting in a really great spot. So we're not asking to do the 12 months we normally would, which, other people in your position put their trust in us to partner as well. Even having the same.
They're probably gambling with somebody else's money, though.
Oh, Diane, this isn't a gamble if we have the winning recipe, unless you're talking counting cards. So here's what I'm asking of you guys. This is the right thing to do. What we'd like to do is to have you guys try us out for a few months. But when I say try us out, that doesn't mean this is a gamble. That means we'd like for you guys to apply our winning recipe, and then we'll see how many deals you close in the first month. And if you guys want to, we can always increase spend from there. Does that sound fair?
Uh-huh.
So can we welcome you to the family?
Well, I can't do $2,000 a month, so we have it set on that.
Oh, right, the dollar amount.
Yes. That's the big hang up. I'm telling you, like, when you're working from my budget, it's just not there.
Okay, I understand. On the bright side, you guys have much higher margins than normal.
I can't pay for it because there's no integrity in that for me.
Yeah, no, I get that. That's fair. Well, is there anything else outside of budget?
No, I mean, budget is my only killer. I mean, that's why I was just straightforward with you last week when we talked, because that is the only thing that just is the determining factor. I believe that your strategy is going to work. I believe that you can write the ads that are going to work. I mean, I know that that I can, write my own stuff and do it for a lot cheaper, but I'm willing to pay a professional to do that.
Sure.
I mean, because you're using the same things that are already being offered to us,
Yeah. And I can tell you guys are professionals at what you do because you understand that.
Yes.
So,
I mean, that's just it. Like, if my budget changes, I would be happy to, sign up and move forward. But I mean, it's just not there right now.
okay. So to make sure I heard you right, it's really only the budget that's stopping you. That's it.
It is.
Okay. And from what I'm hearing, you guys, and Ricky, if you're on board with this too, feel free to chime in. But from what I'm hearing, you guys trust that we can get the job done. You guys definitely want to hire out to somebody that's already done this before, that you obviously trust can get the job done.
Right.
Is that right? Ricky, are you on board with that too? Ricky?
He said yes.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
Okay. Just making
The
sure
microphone's kind of facing me, so.
making sure we didn't lose you. Okay. So here's the thing. It sounds to me like this is obviously something you guys want to do, and I already know it's going to work. So it's just a matter of us not losing money taking you guys on as a client.
Right.
So we really just need to be able to meet in the middle, because it sounds like you're the right fit. We want to take you on. So here's what we can do. I got to let you know we have to break even as a company.
Right.
Now, even though I don't own the company, obviously I can't make decisions anything less than breaking even and basically losing my commission on the deal.
Right.
So what I can do for you guys, because I already know it's going to work and we'll be here long term, so I'm willing to do that. But if you guys can do this for 6 months, which I know isn't as short as 3, but if you can do this for 6 months at $1,000, we'd at least still be able to break even as a company, still show you the results, and basically I would just have to give up commission on the agreement. And this way you guys could start obviously staying in your budget and still find the results. So everybody wins. But all I can do is give you what you want. So can we meet in the middle on this?
Yeah, if we'll do one thing, if we'll do it for 3 months, and we can renegotiate in 90 days. And that way, if it's not working for you, then it's not working for you. And if it's not working for us, then it's not working for us.
Diane, why are you always yanking my chain?
She's a salesperson.
Oh my gosh. I'm over here thinking I was good at this or something. Okay, I'll tell you what. Can I meet your negotiation with another negotiation?
Maybe.
That's how sales works.
Okay. How about this?
Keep negotiating until we meet in the middle.
Okay, I like it. I like you guys. How about this? 6 tickets to the Super Bowl. No, I'm kidding. So let's do this.
I'll pay you out of my own pocket.
Hey, all right. But 53% margins, I hope you take me out to steak and lobster too. So,
I'm in. I'll take you to the Super Bowl with me.
hey, all right. I'm making friends everywhere here today. So let's do this then. If you guys could give us 3 friends in business that would be interested in a similar service that we could call and be able to offer a similar service, then we should be able to meet you in the middle on that.
So what does that mean? You're coming down to 750?
What kind of middle are we talking about? Dang, Diane's giving me the short end of the stick today. What is going on?
No, I can do that. That's not a problem.
Okay, cool. So what we would do is
You're gonna have to bring your game, though. I mean, I don't know if you can sell them or not.
Well-
I'll sure give you the names.
well, clearly I don't have any game because you just talked me down like 3 times. I'm gonna have to go to my friends. I'm gonna have to be like, oh yeah, guys, we got the deal, but I actually didn't make any money on it. So
Hey, I've been there.
I'm just kidding. I like you guys.
We'll see what happens. Maybe we can get something.
It's gonna work out. I'm honestly not too worried about it. So this is a great staple. So we can start here. But what we'll do next, guys, just so you know, we'll shoot you over an email with the agreement, and then also we'll just remind you in the email to write down whatever your friend's name, business name, and phone number is, just so we can, obviously, we can say that you gave us their information, right? They won't like turn and run for the hills if we mention your name?
No, they won't.
Okay, cool. All right, I'll take your word for that. I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, definitely. So,
Your sales game, sell it.
yeah, no, I'm gonna go watch some YouTube videos before the next call. You guys are hilarious. Okay, well, Kristen will shoot you over all that stuff, and yeah, and then you guys reply back to everything with her, and I'm excited. Welcome to the family.
All right, thank you.
Thank you,
Are
guys.
you our direct point of contact?
Actually, no, Kristen will be. She owns the company, so she'll be your direct point of contact.
Okay.
Okay? So this way you guys don't have to deal with me anymore.
No, that's no problem. I'm just gonna let Crystal know that you promised me some Super Bowl tickets.
Yeah, you better tell her she doesn't get any. I get all the tickets for dealing with all this harassment.
There you go.
All right, cool. Well, I'm looking forward to it, guys. Super Bowl tickets and all. So hopefully talk to you guys soon, and she'll get all that information shot over to you.
Okay, perfect. Thank
All right, thanks, guys. Bye.
you. Bye-bye.